What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome back to another movie review. And today we are closing out the Evil Dead franchise with the latest film in the franchise that was just released this year. Sorry I was late to this review as well. Just took me a minute to go see it. But today we are reviewing Evil Dead Rise. Before we can actually get into it, let's read the synopsis. In the fifth Evil Dead film, a road-weary Beth pays a overdue visit to her older sister Ellie, who is raising 3 kids on her own in a cramped LA apartment. The sisters' reunion is cut short by a discovery of a mysterious book deep in the bowels of Ellie's building, giving rise to flesh-possessing demons and thrusting Beth into a primal battle for survival as she is faced with the most nightmarish version of motherhood imaginable. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into the actual review. Going into this movie, I do not know what to think. I really enjoyed the last one, and it was one of my favorite in the franchise. This one, though, from the trailers, made it look actually scary, actually kind of terrifying, and everything. And I really liked the idea of a different setting in this apartment, which was definitely an apartment building, which was very different than what we have seen in the other movies, where every other movie besides Army of Darkness has taken place in a cabin. Is such a different take, and I think they took what worked with the last movie and like amped it up to 10. Now, personally, I don't think I like this one as much as the last one, but personally, this movie is scary. Like, I have not said that, and it could have been added that I saw this in a dark theater by myself with no one else in. Like, I was the only one in the theater. There was like a midday showing at like 2 o'clock, and I was absolutely insane, like, and it kind of had like a good sense of like being scared of the movie. Now, I don't really get scared of movies that much anymore, but it could have been the atmosphere adding up and making it. So if you have a chance, if you want to watch, if you want to actually feel, maybe watch it in a dark room by yourself, or try to see if you can see it in a showing that has no one else there. Obviously, when it comes to Blu-ray and streaming and all that, watch it in a dark room by yourself. Maybe you'll be scared. I don't know. But the effects in this, everything pretty much looks practical for the most part. And it is bloody. Like, you thought the last movie was, this movie's like, wow. Like, it is like a lot of like crazy effects and like over the top blood and gore. And I know I said that about the last one, but like, there's a little more comedy here, a little more with some of the lines that the Deadites say, which is, it's got some dark humor in there. Now, this movie, though, like, the characters, I feel like, are done pretty good. There's not really anyone you don't like in the movie. Our main lead, which is the aunt, I don't remember what the actress's name, Beth, the character Beth. She is like kind of is a really good character. I really like her dynamic with the kids, especially the youngest daughter. And it's all done to a shockingly tense film. It has a pretty intense film at points. And like I said, the effects are insane. I do think a little at the end it starts to kind of fall apart a bit. Because the movie's starting, I'm like not feeling it. I'm like, okay. Like, the opening though, like the opening is great. I think the opening of the movie like really sets the tone. But then like a little bit you get into is like okay, what do we got going on here? Like what's this? Like, okay, is this gonna go where I think it's gonna go, or things like that, like. But then the movie really starts picking up as soon as the Deadites start showing up and everything, and one thing I really wish is this is a house. There's a lot of people in this building, but I kind of wish we would have more time with some of the characters too, because I think there could have been some really interesting dynamics there with the kind of like make some more stuff work with these characters. I really do think that I really do think that that's how it should have gone. They could have done a lot better with that concept and everything. Um, I do think the I do think they could have done a little more with that. Um, but like overall, this is a fun, scary time. Like I felt like the movie was actually genuinely scary. I haven't really. I've had movies made me feel uneasy in recent years, but like nothing like I say is like, yes, that movie is scary. I haven't had a movie say and like there's like you can tell like the actress playing the mom that gets when she becomes a deadite is like you can tell the actress is really hamming it up, like having a lot of fun with this performance. And it is definitely it's and for some people it's gross. Like for some people, this movie would be considered gross because of all the like. Like this movie is bloody. Like it is gory. It is bloody. There's one scene actually I was eating, and then under the blood, and I was eating my popcorn in the theater, and there was a scene where vomit happens, not even bloody or anything like that. Just something about that made me go like stop eating my popcorn for a minute. I was like, that's gross. Um, but overall, Evil Dead Rise is I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite. I probably would say it's actually one of the, in terms of all the other films, might be one of the weaker films. But that's not really a bad thing because I just think it's weaker compared to the others. I don't think this movie is bad in the slightest. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the critics, and critics give this movie a 84, and audiences give it a 77. Which I think is a all right point. Me personally, I think I would just give it a 3 out of 5. I think is where I would put it. I do think some of the other movies in the franchise are better. But I do think like the way they go about handling the fear and like everything with this and there's kind of I guess you consider there's something really cool happens at the end. I don't want to give it away. This movie is still pretty new. But it's definitely like if you are squeamish and cannot handle gore, or you can't don't this might not be the movie for you. Especially if you can't handle it while eating. It's for people that don't appreciate like the effects or can't look at gore. It can look pretty gross, and but that's just part of the Evil Dead. Because like I feel like the filmmakers were like, okay, the last one was really bloody. How can we amp that up? And like, there's this one thing I don't really want to give it away that much, but like I have to talk about it. It's not really a spoiler. There's a cheese grater at one point, and I'm not even gonna go into any more detail about it. Just thinking about it, it's like, oh, that was like one of the ones that actually made me like grab my seat, like, ooh. But overall, I do think this was pretty good Evil Dead movie. It brought a little bit more of the dark comedy back that was kind of missing in the last one. You know, there was some in the last one, but like definitely brought it back and everything. When I first heard that Evil Dead was doing like kind of a city location, I was hoping for something a little more like insane, but like this movie is insane, but like this wasn't what I was expecting. The trailers definitely, I'd say, sell the movie, but definitely you don't see all the good stuff in the trailer. You see they keep a good bit of the stuff, and it's dark, it's bloody, it's gross at points, and and it's got some dark humor. What else do you want from an Evil Dead movie? And before anyone asks, no, there is no Bruce Campbell. He was a producer on the movie, and so was Sam Raimi. But no, there was no Bruce Campbell in this movie at all. Technically, the first movie did not have him at all. There was that post-credit scene in the last movie, but there's no after-credit scene or anything with Bruce Campbell, or he's not in the movie at all. There are the things, even though this movie's not directed by Sam Raimi, it feels very Sam Raimi-esque. Like, there's some shots I'm like, you sure Sam Raimi didn't direct this? Okay. He's going to get another one's like, you sure that Sam Raimi did not direct this movie? But I think overall, if you are an Evil Dead fan, especially if you're a fan of the last movie, you are going to get a kick out of this one. You're going to enjoy it. If you are a fan of good practical effects, you're going to enjoy this. I don't know how much CG was used. I think it was like almost none. But probably at the end there was probably, I don't know, but there was I can't tell it was CG. I guess that's good, but like I always prefer practical effects over CG. I think there is a little bit of CG in there, but I think for the most part this movie is. And the movie definitely doesn't go in a direction you would expect at points. Like, there's some things where you're like, okay, this is gonna happen here, and it doesn't go there. But that's all I gotta say for this review, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of Evil Dead Rise down in the comment section below. And that's another horror franchise wrapped up, guys. We have finished the Evil Dead series. Let me know what you guys think of this movie down in the comment section, and we will hopefully I will be tackling the Indiana Jones movies soon because of the new one coming out. So I'm going to tackle that film hopefully soon. The rest of those films, I've reviewed the first one. I need to review the other 3 before the new one comes out. So I'll be tackling those soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!